Write an engaging and emotional story based on the title. She signed the divorce papers in tears at the Christmas party. No one knew she was a billionaire's. Begin the story with hook who joins the viewers at the end, immediately capture attention. Also motive viewers to like video and subscribe the channel. Develop the plot with emotional depth and relatable characters, including key challenges and their resolutions. Ensure the story maintains a smooth pace suitable for an 4,000-minute YouTube video, leaving a strong, inspiring message by the end. Plain paragraphs, but long story as you can based on 2,000-word estimate. The glittering lights of the grand ballroom twinkled like fallen stars, casting a festive glow over the Christmas party. Laughter echoed off the ornate walls. Champagne flutes clinked in toasts to holiday cheer, and couples swayed to the soft strains of White Christmas. But in a shadowed corner, away from the merriment, Elena Thompson clutched a pen in her trembling hand. Tears streamed down her face as she stared at the divorce papers spread out on a small table, her husband's signature already scrawled boldly across the bottom. With a sob that she muffled against her sleeve, she signed her name, Elena Hart, sealing the end of her 5-year marriage. No one noticed her quiet devastation amid the revelry. No one knew that beneath her simple red dress and tear-streaked makeup, she was the secret heiress to a billionaire empire. If you're hooked already, hit that like button and subscribe for more heart-wrenching stories that remind us of the power within. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. Elena's life hadn't always been this facade of normalcy. Born into the opulent world of the Hart family, owners of a global tech conglomerate worth billions, she grew up in mansions that spanned acres, with private jets at her beck and call and tutors who flew in from Ivy League schools. Her father, Alexander Hart, was a titan of industry, a man whose name appeared on Forbes' list year after year. But Elena had always felt like a bird in a gilded cage. The expectations were suffocating. Endless galas, arranged alliances with other wealthy heirs, and a life scripted by boardrooms rather than her own dreams. At 22, she rebelled. She changed her last name to Thompson, a common one she picked from a phone book, and fled to a small coastal town, determined to build a life on her own terms. No trust funds, no connections, just her wits and a part-time job at a local bookstore. That's where she met David. He was charming, with tousled brown hair and a smile that lit up the dim aisles of dusty novels. A struggling artist, he painted seascapes that captured the wild beauty of the ocean, dreaming of gallery shows in the city. Elena was drawn to his authenticity, his lack of pretense. For the first time, someone saw her, not the heiress, but Elena, the girl who loved rainy days and classic literature. They fell in love quickly, fiercely. David proposed under a starry sky on the beach, with a ring he'd saved for months to buy. Elena said yes, burying her secrets deeper. She told him her family was estranged, modest folk from the Midwest, lies built on half-truths, all to protect the fragile bubble of their ordinary life. Their marriage started as a fairy tale. They rented a cozy apartment overlooking the sea, where David set up his easel in the living room, and Elena pursued her passion for writing children's books under a pseudonym. Mornings were filled with coffee and kisses, evenings with walks hand in hand. But cracks appeared slowly, like frost creeping across a window pane. David's art career stalled. Rejection letters piled up, and frustration gnawed at him. He began resenting Elena's quiet stability, her job at the bookstore that paid the bills while he chased dreams. "You're content with so little," he'd say bitterly during arguments. "Don't you want more?" Elena bit her tongue, knowing she could give him the world, but fearing it would shatter their equality. The real trouble began when David's old college friend, Sophia, moved back to town. Sophia was vibrant, ambitious, a marketing executive with connections in the art world. She started dropping by their apartment, offering advice on David's portfolio, arranging introductions. Elena noticed the lingering glances, the late-night texts. Jealousy twisted in her gut, but she pushed it down, telling herself it was nothing. Until one rainy afternoon, she came home early and found them together on the couch, Sophia's head on David's shoulder, his arm around her waist. The betrayal hit like a tidal wave. David confessed that night, tears in his eyes. "I love you, Elena, but Sophia gets me. She believes in my potential. With you, it's like we're stuck in this small life forever." Heartbroken, Elena agreed to the divorce. David wanted it quick and clean, no alimony, no fuss. He didn't know about her fortune, and she wasn't about to reveal it now. Why beg for love from someone who saw her as ordinary when she was anything but? The Christmas party was David's idea. A neutral ground at his gallery's holiday event, where they could sign the papers and part ways amicably. Elena dressed simply, her only jewelry a locket from her mother, who had passed away years ago. As she arrived, the room buzzed with excitement. David's latest painting hung prominently, a stormy seascape that mirrored her turmoil. Sophia was there, of course, clinging to his arm, her laughter ringing out like bells. Elena slipped into the corner, papers in hand. David approached, his face a mask of regret. "Let's just get this over with," he muttered, signing swiftly before returning to the crowd. Alone, Elena's tears fell freely. Each drop blurred the ink, but she pressed on, her signature a final act of release. No one glanced her way. She was invisible, the soon-to-be ex-wife fading into the background. But as she wiped her eyes, a spark ignited within her, a long-suppressed fire. Why had she hidden for so long? Fear of being loved for her money? Or fear of her own power? Unbeknownst to Elena, fate was about to intervene. Across the room, an unexpected guest mingled with the artists and patrons. Marcus Langford, a renowned art curator from New York. He was there scouting talent, drawn by whispers of David's work. But as he scanned the crowd, his eyes landed on Elena. There was something familiar about her, the poise, the quiet strength amid sorrow. Marcus approached hesitantly. "Excuse me," he said, his voice kind. "You look like you could use a friend." "I'm Marcus." Elena forced a smile, introducing herself as Thompson. They talked about art, life, the holidays. For the first time in months, she felt seen. As the conversation deepened, Marcus's eyes widened. "Thompson? But you remind me so much of Alexander Hart's daughter. I met her once at a charity event years ago." Elena's heart raced. Should she deny it? But the weight of secrets had crushed her long enough. With a deep breath, she confessed. "That's because I am her. Elena Hart." Marcus stared, then grinned. "Well, I'll be damned. The prodigal heiress." He didn't fawn or pry. Instead, he shared his own story of leaving a corporate life for passion. Their connection was instant, a balm to her wounded soul. Word spread subtly through the party. Whispers rippled. "Did you hear? That's Elena Hart." David's face paled as he overheard. Sophia's grip tightened on his arm, but doubt flickered in her eyes. Elena, composure regained, approached them. "David, I wish you well," she said softly. "But know this, I chose this life because I loved you for you. Now, I'm choosing myself." She turned away, head high, as the room's attention shifted. Offers poured in, gallery spots for her books, invitations to events. But Elena's true resolution came later that night, alone in her apartment. She called her father, the line connecting after years of silence. "Dad, I'm coming home, but on my terms." Alexander's voice cracked with emotion. "I've been waiting, sweetheart." The next days blurred into action. Elena reclaimed her identity, merging her worlds. She funded a foundation for aspiring artists, ensuring talents like David's had a fair shot, without strings. David reached out, apologetic, begging for another chance. "I didn't know," he pleaded. Elena smiled sadly. "That's exactly why it wouldn't work. You love the idea of me, not the real me." Months passed, and Elena's life transformed. She published her books openly, dedicating them to those hiding their light. Marcus became more than a friend. Their shared vulnerabilities blossomed into love, grounded in truth. At a spring gala, Elena stood on stage, accepting an award for her philanthropy. "We all wear masks," she said, her voice steady. "But true strength comes from shedding them. Don't let fear dim your shine. Embrace who you are, flaws and fortunes alike. Back at that Christmas party, no one could have predicted this turnaround. Elena's tears had been the catalyst, washing away illusions. She learned that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the doorway to authenticity. Challenges like betrayal and self-doubt had forged her resilience, teaching her that resolutions aren't about revenge, but rebirth. If this story touched your heart, reminding you that rock bottom can be the foundation for your greatest comeback, smash that like button right now. And subscribe to the channel for more tales of triumph over tears. We've got stories that will inspire you every week. Who knows? The next one might change your life. Elena's journey didn't end with the gala. She dove deeper into her family's business, innovating with a focus on ethical tech, AI that empowered small creators, much like David's dreams. But she balanced it with her writing, penning a memoir that became a bestseller, Heiress, Finding Myself in the Shadows. Readers related to her struggles, seeing their own hidden potentials reflected. One fan letter stood out, a young woman who had left an abusive relationship, inspired by Elena's courage. "You showed me I deserve more," it read. Elena replied personally, offering support through her foundation. David, meanwhile, found success on his own merit. Sophia's connections helped, but it was his raw talent that shone. He painted a series inspired by their marriage, a turbulent sea calming to serenity. At his opening, he dedicated it to Elena. "To the woman who taught me about real love," he said in his speech. Elena attended, not out of lingering affection, but closure. They shared a brief hug, no bitterness left.